2016 was a golden year for Jaycee Chan. Standing on the Oscar stage, he gave a tearful speech, thanking his family in front of the entire world.
And I thank you, my family, my wife, Joanne, my son, Jaycee.
But that exact same year, his biological daughter was lining up for free food in Canada, a reality confirmed directly by the daughter herself, Etta Ng, to international media. While her father sat on a net worth of over $350 million, not a single penny made its way to her. Etta was even forced to sleep under a bridge. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, Jaycee Chan, his only son, was sitting in a prison cell over drug charges. How on earth did it come to this? How could a man who spent his whole career playing the protective hero on screen leave his own children to fend for themselves? The answer doesn't start with his kids. It starts 60 years ago with a lonely little boy standing at the school gates waiting to be picked up, and no one ever came. The story we're diving into today isn't about a movie star. It's a story about inherited pain. From a brutal Hong Kong boarding school in the 60s, to the peak of Hollywood, to a jail cell in Beijing, and under a bridge in Canada, we're going to trace how an abandoned child grew up to become an abandoning father. And by the end of this video, there's a recent twist from this year that might just rewrite the ending to this story for the very first time. Before we tear this all down piece by piece, if you want to support Trace Zero so we can keep bringing you deeper, long-form investigations, consider joining Trace Circle. You'll get exclusive stickers featuring my face to use in the live chats and comment sections. I'll see you there. Hey Tracers, Sean here. Welcome back to part 2. In part 1, we saw how Jaycee Chan fought his way from grinding poverty to global stardom, and the extreme lengths he went to in order to protect his multi-million-dollar empire. But today, we're stepping inside his home to look at the inherited trauma, the wild betrayals, the Beijing drug busts, and the children he left behind. Let's dive in, because you never know how deep this hole goes. On December 2nd, 1982, Jaycee Chan secretly married Joan Lin, a top Taiwanese actress, inside a quiet room at a Los Angeles coffee shop. No press release, no lavish reception, no official photos. They deliberately kept it completely hidden from the public eye. Just one day after the wedding, their son, Jaycee Chan, was born. Decades later, during a 2015 interview, Jaycee finally opened up about that moment. He admitted that the marriage only happened because Joan had gotten pregnant. Jaycee candidly confessed that he had zero intention of getting married at the time, feeling like the situation left him backed into a corner with no way out. After tying the knot, Joan chose to retire and walk away from show business entirely, while Jaycee remained fully consumed by his career. As a result, Jaycee's childhood in America was defined by a missing father. On average, Jaycee was only home for about 2 weeks out of the entire year. The rest of his time was swallowed up by film sets across the globe, driven by a work schedule that literally never stopped. In his memoir, Never Grow Up, Jaycee owned up to this painful reality. He felt he had fulfilled his financial duties to his wife and son, but he was fully aware that he had failed miserably as both a husband and a dad. In fact, he shared one horrific incident in his own book, when Jaycee was just 2 years old. During a furious argument with Joan, Jaycee picked up his toddler son with one hand and slammed him down onto the sofa. He admitted how terrifying that moment was, writing that if Jaycee had hit the wooden armrest instead, the outcome could have been fatal. Joan was absolutely terrified. Jaycee instantly felt a surge of remorse and swore he would never lay a hand on his son again, a promise he claims he kept from that day forward. The trauma of that event, combined with Jaycee's constant absence, led Joan to take total control over raising their son. Joan raised Jaycee all by herself using a style that was the polar opposite of Jackie's brutal childhood. Joan intentionally shielded Jaycee from any form of harsh discipline or heavy pressure. This allowed Jaycee to grow up with every single need handed to him on a silver platter, often before he even had to ask. Little Jackie was forged in relentless hardship with no parents around. Little Jaycee grew up with zero boundaries, but also without a father. Both grew up on extreme opposite ends of the spectrum, and both paid the heavy emotional toll of an absent father figure. Jaycee eventually ventured into the entertainment industry, carrying his father's famous name. But he quickly learned that riding on a famous name wasn't enough to replicate his father's legendary success. In 2004, Jaycee decided to move to Hong Kong to forge his own path. Truth is, Jackie never really approved of that decision. He quietly hoped his son would become a lawyer, an engineer, or a doctor, professions he saw as far more stable. But Jaycee's mind was set. He wanted to be a musician, then an actor. His biggest hurdle wasn't just building a career from scratch. It was facing the fact that the entire world already knew his name before he had accomplished anything at all. But the reality of show business hit him hard. His initial steps in the industry fell completely flat. His debut album failed to make a splash, and his movie projects struggled to get any positive traction. His very first film, The Twins Effect, scored under a 5 out of 10 on IMDb. In the North American market, the movie pulled in a meager $9,000 at the box office, a tiny figure by any metric. While that low number was partly due to a very limited theatrical run, the film still flopped hard with critics. Many dismissed his work as bland and uninspired, claiming it leaned way too heavily on generic, recycled action comedy tropes. Jaycee even shared the screen in his father's 100th film, 1911. The movie was hyped as a monumental milestone, but it bombed hard, becoming one of the lowest attended films of Jackie Chan's entire career. In the US market, this big budget spectacle scraped together a dismal $127,000. With a stalled career, the crushing weight of his father's legacy, and endless idle time spent in Beijing without clear projects, Jaycee filled the void by running with the wrong crowd. 8 years drifted by, and nobody knew the truth until the police came knocking on his door. On August 14th, 2014, Beijing police raided Jaycee's luxury apartment in the Dongcheng district. Inside a bedroom closet, officers uncovered over 100 grams of marijuana. That night, he was taken into custody alongside Taiwanese actor Kai Ko. Under questioning, Jaycee confessed that he had been using the drug for the past 8 years. The raid footage was even broadcast nationwide by state television, CCTV. With his face blurred out, the entire nation watched Jackie Chan's son personally point out his secret drug stash to the cops. The ultimate irony? Since 2009, Jackie Chan had been serving as an official anti-drug goodwill ambassador appointed by the Chinese government. As soon as news of his son's arrest broke, it sent shockwaves across the internet. That very night, Jackie issued a public statement on social media. He expressed deep anger, shock, and heartbreak as a father, apologizing profusely to the public. Jackie also made it crystal clear that he would not use his fame or influence to bail his son out of trouble. When the sentencing hearing took place in Beijing in January 2015, Jackie chose to keep working and skipped the trial altogether. Jaycee was left sitting completely alone in that courtroom without a single family member by his side. Inside the courtroom, the judge slammed the gavel down, handing Jaycee a 6-month prison sentence. Outside, Jaycee's career and reputation crumbled overnight. Brands like Adidas, Nivea, KFC, and Chevrolet dropped him instantly, terminating all endorsement deals that very same day. Amidst the chaos, Jackie Chan doubled down, declaring publicly that he would not leave a single penny of his fortune to Jaycee. His entire $350 million net worth, he stated, would be donated to charity instead. Jackie's reasoning was blunt. If he is capable, he can make his own money. If he is not, he'll just be wasting mine. But at the very least, Jaycee had a father, even if it was only for 2 weeks a year. Because back when Jackie was building a home with Joan, he was also carrying on an affair with another woman. And from that affair, a daughter was born, a daughter he would never acknowledge. In 1999, the public was rocked by a bombshell confession from actress and Miss Asia 1990 winner Etta Ng. She announced her pregnancy and publicly named Jaycee Chan as the biological father. At the time, Jackie had already been married to Joan Lin for 17 years. Jackie finally broke his silence regarding the scandal during a press conference. He didn't deny the affair, but he dropped a statement that sparked immense public outrage. Shortly after making that statement, Jackie chose to sever all ties with Elaine, refusing to have any involvement in the child's life. Etta Ng was born on January 18, 1999. Elaine raised her entirely on her own. Throughout her entire childhood, Jaycee Chan was a complete ghost, absent from birthdays, missing her first day of school, and nowhere to be found during any landmark moment Etta could recall. According to statements Elaine made to the press, Jackie never provided a single cent of financial support. In 2015, Etta finally spoke out about her biological father. That same year, Jackie briefly addressed Etta's existence in the public eye, stating he felt Etta didn't need any inheritance from him, adding that he wouldn't mind if fate ever brought them face to face in the future. In April 2018, Etta shocked the internet by posting a video on YouTube alongside her partner Andi Autumn. In the video, she openly identified herself as Jackie Chan's daughter and laid bare her dire living conditions.
We've been homeless for a month due to homophobic parents. We pretty much slept under a bridge and other things, you know.
She revealed that all her pleas for help, from contacting the police and hospitals to reaching out to LGBTQ community shelters, had led absolutely nowhere. The irony was suffocating. While Etta was struggling just to survive, her father was basking in global glory on the Oscar stage. And Etta's hardships seemed far from over. In 2022, viral photos surfaced showing her lining up for free food handouts on the streets of Toronto. After saving hundreds of lives on the silver screen, Jackie Chan couldn't save his own child in real life. Looking at all this, it seemed clear that Jackie was passing down his childhood trauma, a life of harsh struggle without a father, straight to his kids, especially Etta. But early this year, for the very first time, something shifted. After years of radio silence, reports surfaced early this year indicating that the icy relationship between Jackie Chan and his daughter Etta was finally starting to thaw. The action legend was reportedly providing financial support behind the scenes. Beyond helping cover Etta's housing expenses in Canada, Jackie also reportedly made a move to acknowledge his daughter's professional talents. This was set in motion when Jackie's production team deliberately reached out to Etta's creative studio to commission promotional design work for one of his upcoming film projects. Etta completed the work professionally, without relying on her father's famous name as a crutch for her career. Recent updates suggest Etta's situation is steadily improving. The woman who made headlines 4 years ago for filming a video while homeless under a bridge is now reportedly working as an assistant at a design firm in Hong Kong. Even though her life is much more stable now, Etta has never issued an official statement regarding a full reconciliation or rebuilding a personal relationship with her father. And it wasn't just with Etta. Jackie's relationship with Jaycee has also begun to heal after years of intense strain. Following the 2014 drug scandal, the father and son appear to be quietly rebuilding their bond. Photos circulating captured a rare moment. Jackie, with his arm wrapped around Jaycee's shoulders, laughing together in Wenzhou, China. Even in his 70s, Jackie Chan shows no signs of slowing down. He remains remarkably active in the industry. In fact, his recent box office hit, The Shadow's Age, turned out to be a massive commercial success, pulling in over $170 million at the global box office. For Jackie, it stands out as one of his best received films in years, proving that his legendary drive for cinema hasn't faded one bit. A traumatic childhood can fuel the drive to become an international superstar, but it can also leave a person completely unequipped to be a good parent. The man, who is now in his 70s, grew up in grinding poverty. He worked construction in Canberra and risked life and limb as a dirt-cheap stuntman before clawing his way to global stardom. Yet, amidst all the blockbuster hits and Lifetime Achievement Awards, there was one vital thing he failed to do: show up and be present for his kids. His rigid, uncompromising worldview pushed his son Jaycee into living under immense pressure, while his daughter Etta was forced to grow up with the painful reality that her own father refused to acknowledge her existence. But as time passes and age sets in, even the hardest edges often begin to soften. Now in his twilight years, the martial arts icon seems to be coming to terms with his past, quietly trying to make amends out of the media spotlight. But will this delayed support and quiet reaching out be enough to heal decades of deep-seated hurt, or has the damage already been done? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss a deep dive. And as always, if you're still watching this, maybe you're looking for the same thing I am.